Grace and peace, family. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, you guys are turning down for the night. Wanted to come on real quick because I had some information. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about when you're on your spiritual walk is you cannot turn off your spiritual eyes, the eyes of divinity. Meaning, once you learn of the things that are put in place strategically to take you off path, you can't ignore them. You see it. You see it quickly after a while. I'm leading into this weekend. We watched Ugly Dolls. Watched it with my baby. For those of you who don't know what Ugly Dolls is, I would definitely suggest you watch the movie because it does have a really good moral code that it teaches. Pretty much it's a story of reject dolls who are considered defective, who still have hopes of being adopted by a child. What they don't know is that there's a whole other town of perfect dolls. And the reject dolls don't get adopted, but the perfect dolls do. They pretty much, want to be put in a position where they can be adopted as well. But they're being told that they're not allowed to. You're rejects. Nobody wants you. Needless to say, you get to the end, there's a home for everyone, which is great. So you would think, oh my gosh, great little story. It's going to teach these children about morals, about, not judging people, about making sure that you include everyone, right? And it does. But the issue that I have with this is if we as parents are not discussing with our children what they're watching. I say this because for those of you who remember your childhood, we all played the game of That's Me. Whether it was I'm playing basketball and I'm Carmelo Anthony, or I'm Allen Iverson when you're playing on the court. Or you're playing with your dolls and I'm this person. Or you're a singer, I'm this person, I'm Aaliyah. You always pick somebody that you identify with and that's the person you want to be. Kids still do this. And they do it with the movies. They do it with YouTube videos. They do it with everything. So even though it's teaching that you shouldn't judge and that the villain are the people who are trying to single out the ones who are imperfect, our children still will identify with them. Even with that being the lesson. Showing that the doll who was leading the perfect dolls, who was shaming them to make them feel bad or make them feel like they're not perfect enough, he's the villain. Those children see the villain, the same villain of popularity in school. And even though that movie is depicting him as a bad person, when our children go to school with the other kids, they want to be included. They don't want to feel like the rejects. So even though it's taught to not identify with the perfect, but to identify with the rejects, they're going to do it anyway. And this is why it's important for us to discuss these movies. Not just allow TVs to be babysitters. It's important for us to pay attention to what they're watching, then explain it to them so that their little brains can develop in a way that is closer to Christ versus the opposite, the latter, which is, I definitely understand the moral, but I also want to be picked and kickball. I also don't want to sit at the bad table. I also want to feel like, I'm not being shamed. I even seen, a little girl say, oh, well, I'm like the other girl. I don't want to wear my glasses because people are going to make fun of me, so I don't wear my glasses either. So she identified with the hiding of the glasses instead of being an individual. We have to pay attention to what's going on with our babies and what's going into their mind, into the gateways of their soul, because that's how you lose them. We think that just because it's rated PG-13 or it's rated E for everyone, that it's going to teach them something of positivity, and it's not necessarily. We are our children's first teachers. When they go to school, that's teaching them the world. We teach them how to navigate life. So it's up to us to prioritize it. Pay attention to these movies. They also got these hidden little factors in them as well. There was one part where she said, I want to go. And she said, I want to go with you, Lou. And I was like, whoa. Pay attention. I'm going to go for the night. You guys have a blessed one. Love and light and peace.